told me, but I didn't do it.
Over by Chelsea.
It's nothing now.
Ooh.
Sorry for starting the camera, ghosts. People.
Alright, so I guess let me first explain like what she's actually reading on that device. So it's measuring electricity in the air. There's obviously no electricity around this right now, which is why I like to go inside certain spaces and get us off the park, like the sidewalks. So anytime we're going in between spaces, I might say, go ahead and ignore your numbers because the parking meter electrical lines are underneath our sidewalks. Okay. So the ghosts aren't following us around. So if you were to put that device behind your television set, it's going to read about 40 to 60 milligauss. So she just had a 7 where there's no electricity.
Yeah.
If you were standing next to your microwave that was running on high, it would be about 150 to 170.
Okay.
The highest I've ever seen that device go has been here in this crazy parking lot at 214 milligauss.
Now I want to pull the antenna out and walk around.
Well, that's a whole different function that you and I are going to discuss after I give the history. So I'm going to keep you behind while everybody else explores.
Okay.
So, Peggy, with your camera, just keep in mind there are vehicles in here. If somebody's going to their vehicle, you're just not going to be pointing it.
I'm just not seeing anyone in their vehicle. But yeah, that was
well, sometimes people come out here, because most of these people are employees of downtown Charleston somewhere. So sometimes they come out here and take their breaks and they're sleeping in their cars. Somebody caught on to I was doing investigations here, so they put a clown in the front seat of their car and faced it out. So every time somebody passed it by, it was kind of a funny thing. But anyway.
Gotcha.
So, welcome to a parking lot. Like I said, congratulations, you made it. This space used to be something. This used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney mansion. Their mansion sat in the front of this space facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. So who the heck were these people? Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles.
Lovers.
Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Charleses. That's why we look for secondary clues, right? So, oh, by the way, I'm not going to be giving you questions like what color was George Washington's white horse here. I'm going to leave a lot of details out on purpose.
Oh, I'm just telling you what I hear.
I get it. But again, just I don't want to give you any subliminal messages. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Oh, yeah.
So,
did you
yeah,
hear
legit,
lovers?
right?
It was in a song, but yeah, I was like,
She heard the word lovers.
Holy shit.
So, if I don't tell you this, these 2 boys will do it for me very angrily. But the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution, you know, for South Carolina. Like, that's a big deal for us. But I hate politics.
Oh.
So we're going to talk
I just got like a
little blip.
yellow.
Yeah, just give me the colors.
When you said Constitution.
Interesting.
Yeah, look, Constitution.
So that will also, the faster you move around, the more it's going to go off.
Oh, okay. I wasn't moving the first time.
Okay. We're going to talk about Eliza instead. She married Charles, her husband, obviously, at a very young age according to today's standards, not the colonial times that she came from. So if you're going to ask her how old she was when she got married, you're not going to hear numbers like 12 and 14. Think of today's standards. The reason I bring that up is because her husband was over double her age when they married. Creepy age gap in the 1700s, creepy age gap now. I'm just going to point that out. However, she married him because her father was over in England, where she's from, and her father thought he was dying. He's trying to bring all of his kids home one last time. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so she stayed put and got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that particular year for a green card. We're not even a country yet.
Yeah.
So she did marry him out of love, and what she did was very faithful, as was he, just so you guys don't poke that bear. But Dad didn't die right away, so she was right. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to this space right where we're standing.
Oh, wow.
One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. You guys have been in town for at least a day. You've seen the word indigo somewhere, I promise you. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. None of you are wearing it today, it looks like. So, that's how we use it. But when Eliza got the seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her slaves how to keep them cultivated.
I read a book on her.
The
Oh, wait, sorry.
Indigo Girl.
Yeah, I did. I read that book.
Yeah, this is that woman. This is
Oh,
her
I got a green.
So, it's a very good book, by the way. It's very
It was
romanticized.
good. It was
went
romantic.
orange
It was
for a
good
second
though.
there.
So, she had to learn from her slaves, and when she got it figured out on how to actually get it cultivated and make the dye, she moved it to a cash crop plantation, got a hold of her dad, and said, rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with the indigo. And now we have an international businesswoman during colonial
It said
times.
hide.
Interesting. She might be hiding. So, that's the weird, or that's the,
What'd you get, Mom?
that's the,
Rough. Oh, now it's on trash.
Dumpster.
The book was trash.
There's a dumpster right there. I
it
don't
may
know.
have been that way,
She's
right?
like, no,
Yeah.
that book isn't
I'm
right.
not saying every word. It switches a lot.
The book was okay. I liked it. It was okay though.
So, that's the boring business stuff, right? So let's kind of get into the
It
weird
said way
stuff.
too far.
I'm going to give you a series of questions to focus on. Anybody that has a communication device.
Okay.
So with yours, because you obviously you're going to be able to get a lot more detail, I want you to go after Eliza's death. So
Okay.
how old she was when she died, what did she die from, where she's buried, what president was a pallbearer at her funeral.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
How she died, where she died, what president.
Yep.
How
the
old she
pole
was.
bear
You got it.
at her
Okay.
wedding.
With yours, I just want you to kind of hang on to it, but what I'm looking for out of yours, this is the second wife named Eliza from Charles, back to back. So it's kind of a jerk move. His first wife, Eliza, also had a maiden name that started with the letter L. So that would make two Eliza L. Pinckneys. So I like to see if we're going to get either of the maiden names that show up on your spirit box. So it doesn't always happen, but it does occur from time to time. With yours, I would like to try to focus on maybe just trying to get her initials, or if you want to ask what happened to the mansion, maybe we can get her to spell it out for us. I haven't tried this with that device yet, so we're going to see how far we can push it. So obviously, Eliza's initials are ELP. I'm looking for those consecutively, not as an anagram, so in order. And then, obviously, the tragedy that happened, which you don't know what it is. It could have been flood, fire, tornado, hurricane, whatever you think it might be. But again, we're going to see if it actually spells it out for us. And then I'm going to take a look at your word list once I start bouncing around with yours. So I'm going to be keeping you behind so I can show you how to use that motion sensor.
Should we just explore like just this parking lot or both?
This way, so that way we can kind of keep it, keep
And we
an eye on
just
each
kind of
other.
walk around.
You're
And,
gonna be
like,
walking
do we
around.
like think in our thoughts or?
However you're comfortable.
Okay.
That's the easiest thing.
Okay.
So
Adjust.
I will also tell you that this is one of the spaces that I was looking to retire. The reason why is because I was getting some very disrespectful ghost hunters on my teams,
Oh.
and we were getting very unwelcoming messages. for
Oh, no.
weeks
Are we being respectful?
So far.
Okay. I want you to tell us if we're not, because I want to be respectful.
We're good.
Okay.
This is the only place where I'm going to have you literally kind of like just tiptoe around. This is a prominent English woman. Remember who she was.
Yeah.
And also
She
remember,
was.
she doesn't know what these devices are.
She's gonna like my nephew.
Not to mention,
Sorry.
She's gonna love all our vibes.
I've been coming to this location for
Let's be
over
honest,
3
true.
years.
Oh really?
With folks asking pretty much the same questions over and
It
over
said
and
age.
over again. Oh, very interesting. We might have to switch your Ouija board to numbers, depending. So we're going to keep it on letters for a few minutes and kind of see what we get out of it. If not, we'll move it over to numbers.
Okay.
Considering she just got the word age. All right, spread out.
I can't
I need you
wait.
to stay behind
Yep.
with me.
Got
and
it.
then I'm going to
Ask
be.
her.
Yep. Stay away from the cars. That's
I was
the only
gonna
thing
say,
I
just
ask.
don't go
Got it.
inside. Like maybe leave it down here or something.
Yeah, usually the belly shot is usually the best kind.
Okay.
All right, so obviously number paper out. So go ahead and pull it.
been a dust forever, and it just changed to white.
No, the spot seems to be pretty.
22.5.
I'm getting a lot. I got a lot of stuff there.
You get a full list, and I'm gonna just start it off fresh. And you can't make anything out of it, and I come over, I'm like, yeah, you got nothing there. There's a big red dial right here. Turn it all the way down to 6 o'clock, clockwise, and then back to 6 o'clock. And it'll start you off fresh. Otherwise, it's gonna overwrite what was already there, and then it'll trying to figure out.
Okay.
So anytime that whole line gets full, just start it fresh if you don't see anything.
Okay.
But that's basically how you use that guy.
I was just showing up on here.
Keep in mind, this is going to make back left.
Oh, okay.
So if they're too close, you're going to get those little blips. There you go. And again, remember, I use this one to debunk a lot of things. I'd rather use both.
Orbs there.
My hand is frozen though.
What?
I said my hand is frozen.
Oh no.
Switch hands.
Holy shit. Stand right in the middle.
Yeah, I heard that twice. Like at different times. This is a hot spot right
Maybe one more round robin.
Okay.
I'm more interested in see if something else pops up specifically with the word learn.
Okay.
Again, you're not going to know what that term is, so we'll kind of see where it goes.
That's fine. I'm just like writing down what I hear. It's like easier for me to listen if I write it down and then can forget it.
Sure. And that's how I do mine in the morning when I'm spot checking. I just have a notebook.
This is only the hot spot right here. See the
There's my
orbs?
word list lady. Anything else pop up on there?
Oh, all kinds of words. Productivity, now it says eager, mutilate.
Again, that's why 80% is garbage.
Yeah.
Light the bench. She has a couple of terms I'm curious about that she's heard that might be relevant. You want to see if something else can apply it. The other terms can show up on your words too. That's what, let me see what you have.
All right. Peggy, go by Liz. Hers was going nuts.
Wow. Spike like kind of in between.
She was right next to me when I
I
did it.
took a video of it.
I don't know what she saw, but now I'm at
I
zero.
didn't see anything, but my thing
And
is
again,
at
with your camera-
650.
Well, I'm splicing all those videos together, so as
Oh.
we start and stop, so I'll notate if anything's gonna occur. Like if you think you saw something, that's when I usually write something down.
I don't think I've seen anything, but I've been trying to get people when they get something.
32. Alright, ladies, come back.
Charles, my baby.
See if something else pops up with that. The word not showed up in two different spirit boxes. So you heard the word not a good person.
I
and
what?
then you heard the phrase not a good person.
I did.
And then you had the word not
Not,
that
yep.
showed up on
Weird.
yours as
And
well.
mutilate.
Yeah, mutilate's kind of,
Is that just dumb?
it's just bullshit coming through.
And you had an
She
N.
wouldn't. I just had I had OU, and then I said I was going to turn it off, and we're going to restart
Okay.
Oh.
because I felt like it was a mistake. I just knew in my heart
Okay.
because it took forever. So
Any other numbers coming out of you?
The biggest ones were over there.
And that was the 32?
And that
You
was
guys
the
saw me
32,
right
That's
and
when I
that,
heard the word learn
and that's
Like,
when I
you
was
said
talking
good
about
code,
like
turn around,
children
look
and
at it.
family.
was over by those
Yeah.
puddles. That's where I heard the word learn, and I heard it twice.
So the word learn is interesting, and it doesn't always pop up here, but we'll also get the word lock that goes along with that.
Okay.
What's interesting about that,
Oh.
J.
And
Jay.
NJ.
That's it.
Eliza actually taught children based on the John Locke idea of tabula rasa. So it basically means that we are influenced by the things that go on around us.
Yeah.
Like, children are born with a blank slate. It was just very interesting because we do get the word learn, but we'll also get the word lock or the name John to go along with it. Kind of giving. So we're not going to get tabula rasa. That's just not something we're going to get through the devices that we're using. But when I see learn and lock together, I kind of have to look at it as it's a vague clue, but it is there.
Yeah.
So again, the word not showing up, like that was a common thing between your guys' two devices.
Yeah.
I am interested in light a match, which is very interesting. You also have the word roof on your list as well. I know I didn't highlight that for you, but I'm going to kind of go through that, and this is all going to start to make sense.
NJR.
Ooh, we're getting
But now I'm holding them together. My hand got too cold.
It's okay. So put the other one in your pocket. You have a pocket? Purse?
Wait, put what other one?
Put this guy in your pocket.
No, I want to pay attention.
Okay, fine.
I just keep changing
I'm just
trying to
gonna-
help.
I'm supposed to hold them separate.
got
You're
mine.
right. You're right. You are being so kind.
All right.
But I'm determined.
Whenever I break out the tablet is just to kind of give you a visual of some of the things that occur here and to kind of relay all of the answers. So, first off, this is Eliza Lucas Pinckney. Remember, her maiden name started with an L. The first wife was Eliza Lamb Pinckney. We have heard the term Lamb and or Lucas in here in the same location. This wife, the second one, married Charles at the age of 22. He was 45. Definitely a creepy age gap. So, the reason that's creepy for me is because I'm close to Charles's age and my oldest daughter is Eliza's age. So yeah, definitely creepy. So as far as what happened to the mansion, I know I didn't give you all of the slur of questions because we're not using all of the spirit boxes tonight, but this is exactly where you're standing right now.
Oh, wow.
This is the only photograph we have of the mansion. This is after the Great Fire of 1861.
Interesting.
We did get the word light, match, and obviously take a look at the roof. A good portion of it is missing.
Oh, wow.
Cellar.
So very interesting. Would have been no
Oh my
basements
God!
here.
Yeah. Wait, why is it
Well, the
missing?
machine says you're
Fire.
wrong.
Oh, that's after the
Sorry.
fire.
This is
Oh my God!
after the fire.
I thought they built it like that.
No, this
Sorry.
is fire damage. That's again why it's the only picture we have. So, oftentimes, now you heard 12 years, right?
Yeah.
So the reason why that's interesting to me is because oftentimes if we have things like fire, burning, blaze, anything relative to the fire itself, we'll get 2 out of 3 digits from the date December 11th of 1861.
Okay.
12/11/61.
Oh.
So there's probably an 11 going on somewhere that you may have missed, or even a 61. Very
I got
specific.
a 6.
You did get a 6, but I'm more interested in a 61.
Okay.
So also keep in mind that even with Eliza's age, I don't take into consideration any years that come through that are current on a spirit box. If you hear buy a 2022 Ford today,
Yeah.
I'm not taking 20 or 22 as being relevant.
Okay.
I want
Yeah.
22 people got hurt in a car crash. I
Yeah.
want 20 people are heroic because they went to, I don't know, you're getting my point.
Yeah.
So every tour in town is going to tell you about a great fire, just so you know. This one in particular, this is a map of Charleston.
Oh, wow.
Obviously, the orange is the fire. So it literally went from one side of the peninsula
That's
all the way to
crazy.
the other. You are standing on the green dot.
Did it start over here?
Okay.
It started up the road. It was some homeless people trying to stay warm, basically with a warm fire around a barrel.
I mean,
I love that I was talking children when I got it, and you heard learn at the same spot, though, like from the beginning.
So I am pretty interested in see what else is going to pop up out of that piece. The children, I didn't give you those questions because that's usually one that will poke the bear, but let's go through them very quickly. There were 4 children total. I don't know if anybody asked anything specific about the children. I know you said children in general.
I didn't.
But Charles was the first one. We already mentioned him, right? Signer of the Constitution. The next child I bring up is Thomas. Thomas fought in a Revolutionary War battle. He was shot in his left leg and captured by the British.
I had a C and U while we've been standing here, but it's all consonants, really. So
So yeah, it's like a prescription.
yeah, it doesn't really make any sense.
No. So when Thomas was released from the British during that Battle of Camden, he was left on a cane the rest of his days. So any portrait you're going to find of him is basically going to show him of his right side because he's hiding his left leg, and he's got a cane over his lap. Again, we didn't get anything relative to Thomas, just telling you what I look for when his name does show up.
Okay.
The next child is the one that I normally say let's not poke the bear with. It's Baby George. Baby George does not have a headstone or a grave. It is a great possibility, and my theory alone, that they mummified this child and kept him right here in the home, waiting for his mother to pass away so he could be buried with her. It's going to get even more weird when we talk about Eliza's death. So that was June of 1747. We don't even know how old he was, whether it was days or weeks. I'm going to guess weeks because he had a name. He wouldn't have named a child until he was christened during those times.
Okay.
The last child, her name was Harriet. She married in Horry. Myrtle Beach is Horry County. That's 2.5 hours north of here.
Wow.
Kind of gives you an idea of where she lived, but Eliza wouldn't have been driving 2.5 hours. Lots of letter writing instead. When we do hear from Harriet, which is very seldom, lots of letter writing terms, quill, ink, paper. You guys are getting the gist of that.
Yeah.
So again, it's not very often. Usually about once or twice a year we'll hear from Harriet. Eliza's death, which was our focus questions. Eliza was 70 years old when she passed away.
She's got afterlife.
Interesting. I don't know that baby George will be bringing up the afterlife.
Just
We'll see.
Odd little word.
You got a very active thing over there.
Being 70 years old during colonial times is a long time for a woman to be
Yeah, I was
living.
like 70
So
years.
she died in 1793.
Don't call her old, that's rude.
Yeah, she hates it. Look.
She was going to Philadelphia getting treatments for whatever they thought she had. It turned out to be breast cancer. We didn't know what the hell breast cancer was in
That's so
1793.
sad.
So we're going based off her medical records today. So she died in Philadelphia. She's buried in Philadelphia. That should raise two questions in the back of your brain. If she's in Philly, what the hell are we doing down here?
Yeah.
First thing is, I don't take you to actual cemeteries. Minimal activity. Believe it or not, people don't hang out where they're not staring at their headstones in the afterlife.
I mean,
Makes
why
sense.
would you?
Right.
Yeah.
You're going to go to your mansions 400 miles away, which is exactly why we're here. Second thing is baby George. If my theory's true, which you can't Google mummied baby, by the way, and not expect a phone call from the government.
Yeah.
If it's true, they would have transported him from this location by tomb and mummy all the way to Philadelphia by horse and carriage. That's a long trek.
So
And
that
I
was
don't
her
want to be the
kid,
driver.
right?
What's that?
Baby George and Harriet, and we're all her kids.
Yeah, baby George,
Okay.
Harriet, Thomas, and Charles. So
Okay.
she had 4 kids total.
Does the exact location that we find things matter, or just that we found them in this general area?
I usually go with general area.
Okay.
Why? What do you have?
Nothing.
Oh.
I was just like making X's with my to tell you exactly where it happened. So I'm gonna stop doing that.
Now, again, I do know the layout of the house because I've been through
Yeah.
this place with a fine-tooth comb and tape measured and the whole 9 yards in the middle of the daytime, trying to make sure what I'm telling you is very accurate.
Yeah.
I will tell you, whenever we're back here, in the servant and slave quarters for the home, I can't prove any of them. There's no records.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just, I've seen a map one time with this is where the servant quarters were.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I can tell you. I can't tell you who they were, what their names were, what they did. Who wants to take a guess at who the president was that was the pallbearer at her funeral? 1793. Where's my history buff?
I don't
None
know.
of
That might
us.
float.
Andrew Jackson.
No. It's good that you can't answer. Let me explain. When we got here, I told Ellie I'm not going to give her questions like, what color is George Washington's white horse? It's George Washington.
Oh my
And
god.
I do that on purpose, putting one little subliminal trick in the back of your guys' brains, waiting to see who's going to spit it back to me. It's the
History.
only one that I actually... Does it say history?
Yeah.
It does.
Oh my god.
Why? What did I do?
No.
You
No,
passed
it
with a
says
fail.
history on
I
there.
failed?
Yeah.
You passed with a fail.
Why?
Because
What did
I don't want you to tell me that it was George Washington.
Oh, I didn't know.
I know.
None of us are history.
And I didn't say that either.
Liz is.
I said candidate, though. I
You did say candidate. So, the next base that we're going to be going up to Philadelphia Alley. We're not going to be recording, so go ahead and stop
I
your
was gonna say,
video
you
at
want me
this
to
point.
stop it?